I forgot.
He was the first man to become undisputed.
All right.
2 different times. I mean, the way he's moving up and down the scale of the weight classes and dominating these fighters, well, nobody thought.
Charlo, because I feel like that's a big fight to be made as well.
So you'd fight Canelo?
Of course I would. He's a legend. Everything's a possibility, especially when you're at this level right now, at the very 1%. Crawford's very hard to beat. Very hard to beat. I'll be honest with you. When I say Charlo, I say a lot of gaps, a lot of holes. But Crawford, yeah, he's #1 pound for pound for a reason. But that doesn't mean that he's unbeatable.
He knocked out Zab Judah one time.
I remember that.
Oh my God, I've never seen that happen before.
And that was when Zab Judah was Zab Judah.
He was the thing.
Yeah, he was the thing.
And everybody was like counting down how many seconds is it going to take for him to end Kostya Tszyu's life.
The battle for the #1 pound-for-pound spot has been raging for years, splitting fans into bitter, warring camps. But Kostya Tszyu, a legend in his own right, isn't holding back with a prediction that seems to defy boxing physics. This isn't just another casual opinion from a commentator. This is the thunder from down under, a man who knows exactly what it takes to sweep through a division and stand alone at the very top.
Like 4 bouts.
Right.
Incredible.
Yeah. I used to love watching Kostya Tszyu.
Oh, yeah, he was amazing.
Yeah, he was fantastic. And his son, he's got 2 boys, and they're both up-and-comers at the moment.
Yep, yeah.
Tim just lost for the first time. And
yeah, I watched that fight.
Nikita, yeah.
Yeah.
That was crazy, that fight.
Crazy fight.
Yeah.
Crazy fight. Kostya Tszyu was a murderous puncher.
He was fantastic, man.
Yeah.
He knocked out Zab Judah one time.
I remember that.
Oh, my God, I've never seen that happen before.
And that was when Zab Judah was Zab Judah.
He was the thing.
Yeah, he was the thing.
And everybody was like counting down how many seconds is it going to take for him to end Kostya Tszyu's life.
Yeah. Well, he was so slick and so elusive himself, and Kostya Tszyu just planted one on him. Well, he planted a couple on him, but one big one that really rocked him. And he had that little rat tail. That was his thing.
Well, that's the thing with Kostya, nearly 300 fights or something as an amateur to start with.
He did the consequences of him hitting you. He was just such a murderous puncher that even if a guy was slick, it was just you needed to make one mistake. Boom, there it is.
Jay is gazing beyond the massive size gap to reveal a deeper technical truth, turning this moment from a simple hot take into a master plan, as Jay prepares to show how pure skill might finally overcome size.
He stopped Super Judah for the first time, man, and that was amazing the way he did it. That was how you shake up the hometown and the home crowd. He came to America and really made a statement.
To grasp why Tszyu feels so fiercely driven, we need to look back at what unfolded in September 2025, the moment when the impossible quietly turned real. Terence "Bud" Crawford didn't simply rise and wait. He stepped straight into the flames against the face of boxing, Saul Canelo Alvarez. For months before that night, the narrative tightened around him, claiming Crawford was too small, that 168 pounds was a stretch too far, and that even skill collapses when raw physics really takes control.
It's a ridiculous fight myself. I think that Crawford is too small. Canelo is, in my opinion, the face of boxing right now. I think that look at his resume. I think it's a good fight for a little while. Crawford's hand speed will, just like when Golovkin fought Kell Brook, the hand speed was evident at the beginning of the fight, but as the fight goes on, Canelo's going to start pounding on him, and I think that the fight ends somewhere between the 9th and... I
think Crawford could beat Canelo Alvarez.
I think he's too small, but then again, I thought he was too small for Spence, so shows what I know. so I don't know.
This is the heart of Tszyu's claim. In the history of this sport, becoming undisputed is a rare mark of glory. Doing it once is already Hall of Fame worthy. Doing it twice, like Crawford did at 140 and 147, feels almost mythical. But climbing all the way to 168 and taking every belt from Canelo Alvarez is the single feat Tszyu believes sets Crawford apart from everyone else, even the reigning heavyweight king, Oleksandr Usyk.
Say hi.
What's going on, everybody? All my Australian fans. What's up with it?
And Russia as well.
And Russia as well. Thank you, my friend.
It's important to make clear that Tszyu isn't taking shots at Oleksandr Usyk. In his breakdown, he made sure to honor what deserves respect. Usyk's resume is spotless. He swept through the cruiserweight division and then rose to rule the heavyweights, recently defending his undisputed crown against Daniel Dubois in July 2025. A record of 24-0 with no defeats is no small thing. And in almost any other era, Usyk would stand as the unquestioned king of kings. However, Tszyu's view adds a deeper layer to the idea of greatness. While Usyk remained at heavyweight to guard his throne, Crawford gambled everything by moving up to face a naturally bigger man who many believed couldn't be touched. Tszyu explains that Usyk never fought easy opponents. Far from it. But there's a real distinction between beating contenders in your own division and stepping up to topple a legend in theirs.
Are you aware, I assume you are, but let me ask, of the old adage in boxing, the great big man beats the good big man beats the good little man?
But that's what they say, but it's not always the case. You know, when you look at all the great little men that moved up in weight, they beat the great big man. You know, a lot of people, they running with that narrative. Who came up with that?
Well, they just noticed through the years, man. For 100 years, you're right. There have been examples.
I'm saying, who came up with that?
I don't know if there was a.
See, don't nobody know.
I can't name the person.
Don't nobody know who came up with that, and everybody just running with it because they don't know what they talking about. You know, when we look at the history of boxing, more little men moved up in weight to be the bigger man than boxing. More little man. When you talk about Floyd Mayweather, when you talk about De La Hoya, when you talk about Pacquiao, when you talk about Sugar Ray Leonard, when you talk about Roberto Duran, when you talk about Canelo Alvarez, when you talk about Terence Crawford, when you talk about Shakur Stevenson, I can name fighters for days that was smaller, that moved up in weight consistently and was successful.
For Tszyu, the P4P ranking isn't only about who wins. It's about who dares to take the biggest risks and actually pulls them off. Usyk is dominant, but Crawford feels transcendent. That hunger to chase greatness across 3 different weight classes is what nudges Bud just a little further ahead.
Crawford guy.
He was the first man to become undisputed.
All right.
2 different times. I mean, the way he's moving up and down the scale of the weight classes and dominating these fighters. But nobody thought he was going to dismantle Earl Spence like that.
Yeah.
Nobody thought that.
Well, hold up. One person did.
I mean, yeah. I mean, okay, even though Thomas said that, but we didn't think he was going to do it like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We knew he was going to beat him. We didn't think he was going to do it like that.
Like he was going to dominate him like that.
Right. But you know what I'm saying? Earl Spence is one of my favorite fighters. You know what I'm saying? He still is having a tough time coming back around. You know what I mean? So when fighters are doing things like that, that's the level of greatness that I'm saying that
There's a deeper meaning behind this endorsement that stretches far beyond simply watching fights on TV. You have to remember who Kostya Tszyu really is, the former undisputed champion at 140 pounds, the same division where Terence Crawford first revealed himself as a rare generational force. This is game recognizing game, a connection that can't be dismissed. Tszyu studies Crawford and sees a near-perfect reflection of his own creed: precision, timing, and an absolute refusal to accept mistakes as well.
The most exciting power puncher in boxing history. Don't adjust your TV sets. You're not looking at Tim Tszyu. You're looking at his spitting image, his father, Kostya Tszyu. With 25 knockouts out of 31 wins, this 80% knockout king took the 90s by storm. Only losing once in his prime by an upset, Kostya was handing out NyQuil to everybody in the 90s. This exciting power puncher mixed his Soviet style with the Mexican come-for style, and it was fireworks. What made Kostya exciting was he was susceptible sometimes to going down himself because his balls-to-the-wall style left him open. But Tszyu would rise like The Undertaker to knock out anybody who floored him. The Thunder from Down Under is one of only 2 men to ever drop and TKO legend Julio Cesar Chavez. Tszyu's one-punch knockout power had people discombobulated with their brain not communicating with their legs. Possibly the greatest 140-pounder to ever do it. What other junior welterweights in history do you think hit harder than Kostya? Tell me in the comments.
When Tszyu talks about Crawford being on the list of the greatest boxers of all time, he's recognizing the same technical mastery that shaped his own career. Both men share a cold, calculated way of delivering violence. They don't just fight, they unravel problems. Tszyu's endorsement hits harder because he understands the inner mechanics of what Crawford is doing in that ring. He knows how difficult it is to hold on to that power and speed while climbing weight classes, because he lived that exact life of discipline himself.
Looked good, eh? Just boxed his ears off. Simple boxing. But you know what? I thought it was close. It was for me. I scored a 116-112.
Jay feels the mind working beneath every punch, sensing how Crawford faced Canelo and triumphed, not through strength, but pure strategy. That sharp mental command is what strikes Kostya so profoundly inside.
We stuck him in, mate. I could feel it in the back. You feel the pressure. Nice to see you. You made it, huh?
This is where things get a bit tangled and honestly a little uncomfortable for the Tszyu family. While Kostya is out here calling Terence Crawford the greatest of all time, his son Tim Tszyu has spent the past few years trying to chase Crawford himself. Tim has been outspoken about wanting the biggest challenges, calling out both Canelo and Crawford as he fights to carve out a legacy of his own.
We can get the winner of Canelo Charlo, because I feel like that's a big fight to be made as well.
So you'd fight Canelo?
Of course I would. He's a legend. Everything's a possibility, especially when you're at this level right now, at the very 1%. Crawford's very hard to beat. Very hard to beat. I'll be honest with you. When I say Charlo, I say a lot of gaps, a lot of holes. But Crawford, yeah, he's number one pound for pound for a reason. But that doesn't mean that he's unbeatable. You can always find something.
It sets up a compelling dynamic. The father is lauding the very man who now stands as the ultimate obstacle to his son's rise. Tim Tszyu bears the family name, and with it, the weight of expectation. He's tied his career path to facing the finest that Bud has to offer. For Kostya to step forward and essentially declare this man untouchable adds a tense, psychological twist to any future showdown involving the younger Tszyu.
Well, like I said, you know, in boxing, anything is possible. Anything can happen, so you don't ever want to make it seem as if you know for sure, but Fedor is definitely the favorite, and he definitely, you know, have...
You got Fedor as favorite?
Yeah, for sure.
It makes you wonder what dinner table conversations sound like. Kostya is clear-eyed enough to acknowledge Crawford's dominance, even while his own son is chasing him down. It shows that Kostya values boxing truth above all else, even over family loyalty. He won't pretend Crawford is beatable just to hype up his son's potential rival. The fallout from Crawford's win, paired with Tszyu's praise, has also become a huge "I told you so" to much of the boxing world. Glance back at forums and social media threads before September 2025, and the tension was almost unbearable.
Love Terence Crawford. He brings a ton of skill into the ring, but he's been extremely inactive. I love Inoue as well. He's done some phenomenal things in the lower weight classes, but this right here, man, you know, becoming undisputed at cruiserweight and going up to the heavyweight and facing a guy that haven't been beaten and over, I don't even know how many years, man. You guys can do the math. You guys are smart out there. And Tyson Fury, who I highly, truly believe is a great heavyweight champion, or was the great heavyweight champion. It's unbelievable, man, and nothing that Terence Crawford has done in his career, or nothing that Inoue has done in his career, is greater than what Usyk has accomplished on Saturday.
Doubters were all over, insisting Crawford was past his prime, that he was only chasing a paycheck, or that he was foolhardy to believe he could withstand Canelo's power.
It's easy. Like, we don't have to fake it. All we got to do is write their accolades down, see who's done more, and it's there. The proof is in the pudding. No, people gonna call in like they did yesterday. They're gonna say, no, Crawford is #1 based off skill set.
Are a very particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career.
It's like, whoa, you can't do that. It's what you done gets you in the list.
So to me, what Crawford had done previous to Canelo's loss had him at #2.
To you?
To me.
Okay.
I had Crawford at 2.
Oh, wow.
I had Crawford at 2, Usyk at 3, right? So it was just a shift down, and Canelo dropped to 3.
So Usyk's opponents weren't better than Crawford's, and somehow you have Usyk under Crawford.
I have Usyk under Crawford, but Crawford...
Usyk beat champions, not vacants. Like, the runs are different. That's what I'm saying. Like, the runs quality.
A lot has been made about the pound-for-pound list. I've been on record saying you're my #1 pound-for-pound. But the 3 guys that everyone talks about are you, Oleksandr Usyk, and Terence Crawford. Where do you rank yourself amongst the 3 in the pound-for-pound conversation?
まあでもいつでも自分が一番だと思ってやってますから。
Me too.
Tszyu's breakdown shows just how misplaced all that talk was in hindsight. His analysis vindicates the die-hard fans who believe that skill always carries the day. By declaring Crawford #1, Tszyu is, in effect, shutting the door on the doubters. He's reminding everyone that in boxing, opinions count for nothing until that final bell sounds. The experts who dismissed Crawford overlooked the one truth Tszyu recognized. Generational talent doesn't vanish simply because the opponent is larger. Crawford proved the critics wrong, and Tszyu is making sure no one forgets it.
I must say, I'm Bud County all the way.
Bud
you know
County,
what I'm saying?
right?
I've been following this guy for a long, long time, man. Southpaw, switch hitter, and he's a two-fisted monster.
Yeah.
You know, he used those hands better than anybody.
So where does that leave us? According to Kostya Tszyu, the debate is settled. Oleksandr Usyk is a legend, a future Hall of Famer, a dominant force who earns every bit of praise he receives. But Terence Crawford stands alone, undisputed across 3 weight classes, capped by a triumph over Canelo Alvarez, a feat that may not be repeated for another 50 years.
Pound right now.
We got me, we got Inoue, we got Canelo, we got Usyk.
Put Davis in there?
We could put Tank in there.
Who you struggling? If it's not Tank off top, who you struggling with?
Thinking about other fighters, you can put Tank in there.
You and Tank Davis, you guys have gone into it a little bit. Would you able to give an opportunity to a 35-40 pounder?
At what weight? 154?
Would you entertain it? Let's say 47. Let's say
I ain't going back down to 47.
You ain't going back down. You don't want to cut the weight.
I can't cut the weight.
Tszyu's breakdown pushes us to rethink what greatness truly means. It's not just about victory, it's about how you win and who you have the courage to face. Crawford dared to be exceptional, and in the eyes of the Thunder from Down Under, that alone crowns him the undisputed king of this era. But it leaves us with one haunting question. If Crawford has already achieved the impossible, is there anything left for him to prove? Or are we simply witnessing the victory lap of the greatest fighter to ever step into the ring?
Inoue better than Crawford.
But listen, whichever way you slice it, Inoue, Crawford, and Usyk have to be in the top 3. My argument for Usyk is size. He's fighting people that are biologically not just bigger than him, but his opponents have the most physical variety in terms of height, dimensions, styles. That is the most diversity.
If there was a fighter that I wanted to fight for my life, I'm picking Crawford.
Yeah.
Like, that's if based on ability and technical ability, like Crawford ain't getting dropped by Lewis Nery. Inoue though, based on the fact that he's fought at multiple weight classes and he's won the most belts out of the 3, you can give him a claim to be #1.
The technical diversity of Crawford's resume and then the physical diversity of Usyk's resume. And I think based on that, Inoue comes #3.
So that's a wrap for today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss what's coming next. And don't forget to drop your thoughts in the comments. We love hearing from you. Stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next one.